Adiba Nelson, the creator of an Emmy Award-winning documentary inspired by her children's book, Meet ClaraBelle Blue, and the vulnerably enthralling Ain't That a Mother?
When I couldn't rub two nickels together or even put diapers on my child, I doubled down on the only talent that I knew I had, writing. And I wrote a children's book.
I have a book called Meet ClaraBelle Blue. It's loosely based on my daughter. She's got cerebral palsy, which makes it difficult for her to talk and walk and communicate. I intended to write a book about a little girl that had special needs.
She is a prolific powerhouse of a writer in every fashion.
Does that mean go?
Adiba Nelson.
Marquez Price.
Yes. So reading your work, I marvel at your repertoire of quirks, perspective, humor, abundant talent, and lived experience interwoven into your work. Your writing, I'm sorry. Where does your special come from?
My special?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's an interesting question. I think it's just my commitment to just being authentic with the people. I don't believe that I'm the only person that's ever experienced something. And I also don't think it's wise to hold all the things inside.
Yeah.
Right? Like that stuff will literally kill you.
Right.
And I guess that's just my own therapy at the same time, right? Yeah. Get it out of my system. And if me getting out of my system helps other people feel seen and worthy and valid and whatever, then it's a great byproduct, right?
Yeah.
But I guess it's just my commitment to living my most authentic life, without shame, without guilt, without moving through the world with the knowledge that I'm under someone else's gaze.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, your authenticity, I'm glad you said that, because like as a writer, it comes through in such a powerful way. Like it's like analogous to like somebody being in the shower and somebody's tiptoeing down the hallway and they're like, oh, you're in the shower, but you're like, yeah, cool. Pull the curtain, like this is me and all of my glory.
You're gonna get what you're gonna get.
You're gonna get what you get. Like, so I really appreciate that. And like, as a writer, that really inspires me, because a lot of people were two different people when they write and who they are in real life.
I don't think I know how to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the Scorpio in me. Scorpios cannot fake anything. That's not true.
There's no filter.
We can fake some things.
Yeah.
You can filter that one out.
Yeah.
But like our face gives us away every time. Like my best friend would be like, your face is so loud right now.
Yeah.
I'm just like, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there isn't a filter. You're gonna know what we're thinking, what we're feeling at all times. Hopefully we do it in a tactful way, but we don't always. We don't always. But yeah, it's just, you're going to get what you're going to get. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't see any negative aspects of the Scorpio dynamic. I see more of it's beaming, it's inviting, it's gregarious. Like
that's called therapy. Oh. That's called a good 5-6 years of therapy.
Okay.
I mean, there is old Scorpio ways.
Yeah.
They're not that far from the surface.
Yeah.
Just learned how to maneuver through and around.
Yeah.
Because Petty Betty is real close to the heart.
Is that the alter ego or the... Yeah. Okay.
Petty Betty is real close to the heart, but keep her at bay.
Okay.
Keep her at bay. She doesn't serve my higher good.
Yeah, you're cognizant of it, so that's
very.
That's a plus.
Very cognizant.
Yeah. There's a meaningful story behind your 2013 children's book, Meet ClaraBelle Blue. Can you share that with us?
I can. So in 2011, I had taken my daughter, Emery, to Barnes & Noble's because I wanted to find some books that we could read at bedtime like every parent does. And I went in and I asked the sales clerk if she had any books that had Little Black Girl. And she's like, we don't really have a lot of those. I was like, that's odd.
Yeah.
I said, well, how about books with disabled characters? And she's like, no, we definitely don't have any of those.
Yeah.
So I kind of was like, okay, if you don't have books with Black girls and you don't have books with disabled characters, I know you don't have anything that's both.
Yeah.
And she showed me this one book. She said, but we have this book in the Little Critters series. And it was about one of the little critter characters was in a wheelchair and they were trying to figure out like how he could play with them or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's cool and all, but like my kid's not a critter.
Right.
He's actually a human being. She's not going to identify with this animal. And so I got really irritated. And I went home and I was like, fine, I'll just write you a book. Like, if I can't find one, I'll just write it. And that's what I did. I went home and I rage wrote ClaraBelle Blue, like 10 minutes. When I look back now, I can tell that it only took me 10 minutes to write it. But I showed it to my cousin and he insisted that I do something, like make it a real book, get it illustrated and everything. Yeah. And I was like, no, I just wrote it for Em. And he's like, if you can't find a book for your kid, imagine how many other parents with kids with disabilities can't find a book for their kid. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
And so I started working with an illustrator and I went down the route of trying to get it traditionally published. And both agents and publishing houses all told me no. They said it was too niche and that the world was not ready for that type of book. And I was like, a book about a little Black girl with disabilities who was like kind of kick ass? Yeah. I can curse on this thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because
big authenticity.
And all the MFs and the GDs and all that.
All the alphabet.
I'm giving it all to you. I might even make some up. Yeah. So they said that, the world wasn't ready. And I was like, well, that's dumb. Yeah. We're here now. I'm not going to wait for the world to be ready. Yeah. For my kid to exist on paper. Like, I'm doing it myself then. Yeah. And I figured out how to self-publish a book. Yeah. Lots of visits to the library, lots of Google hours. Mm-hmm. But I did it. And by 2013, the book was out. May 4th was the launch date that it went live. And it was amazing. We did like a launch party, if you will. Yeah. Up at Mildred and Dildred, which was a kid's toy store that was up at La Encantada. And in about an hour and a half, we sold about 115 books. Wow. Yeah. Wow. And to date, this little book that nobody wanted has independently sold a little over 7,000 copies.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it at all.
Yeah, and it reads very well. I'm sorry, I'm not going to believe the 10-minute. I believe you did it in 10 minutes because of your outstanding ability, but I don't think that it reads like 10 minutes.
It reads well. What I mean when I say I can look back at it now and tell that it only took me 10 minutes to write it. Yeah. It's the fact that I'm not going to tell folks because I want y'all to buy my book. Yeah. But there are things that I noticed. I'm like, you could have done that better.
Well, also in your cultivation as a writer, you can gauge the, intricacies of, okay, absolutely. It took me this long. I need to be more focused. Yes. Because you can
build this out more.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like I can look at that book, which will always be near and dear to my heart.
Oh, absolutely.
But I can look at that book and then the books that I have coming out that are also in children's. And see a marked difference between the two. Don't love it any less, but I can just see the growth. Yeah. For sure.
And that's just, as you push yourself and you demand more, you're going to see those things. And shout out to your cousin for being the general manager, GM of the year. Yeah. And for you having the audacity to just say, no, I'm going to be a trailblazer and we're going to get this started now.
I had ideas of where I wanted it to go.
Yeah.
I did not imagine that it would. What's that line? I never thought that hip hop could take it this far.
Yeah, Biggie.
Yes, it's like I never thought that it would take it this far.
Yeah.
And we're still going.
Yeah. It's going to continue to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. I love the book. We'll get to the rap and do later. It's also connected to Christopher Wallace, Biggie Small, Notorious Biggs. Good catch. You being from Queens, New York, that's Brooklyn, but
just a train right away.
Right.
The QBE.
Yeah. The Emmy Award-winning documentary, The Full Nelson. Please speak on that.
What do you want me to say about it? Stick my clothes up in it.
Speak what you made. Tell us about it.
I mean, it was one of those things. Like I had no inclination in writing Meet ClaraBelle Blue that would come of it.
Right.
And none whatsoever. Like that little children's book led to the TED Talk, led to me writing a love letter to the library, which led to me doing work with our local NPR.
Yeah.
Which that is how the documentary came to be.
Yeah.
I was doing some work at NPR, reading some stories for their shows, and I became friends with one of the producers, and he's like, we read some of your stuff. We'd love to do this little segment with you. And it was like a 90-second segment that PBS does. Mm. And they wanted to do that with me. And so they came to the house and they filmed it. We did it. And then about 3 weeks later, they're like, that's not enough. And I was like, you guys need to come back. We need to redo it. They're like, no, we want to do like a mini doc. And I was like, say what now?
Yeah.
And they're like, are you open to it? And I was like, I guess, sure. I don't even know what that means, but okay.
Yeah.
And they came to my house at like 5:00 in the morning, and it was cold. It was wintertime. It was so cold.
Is it in Tucson?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was like maybe like 4:30 that they got to the house.
Yeah. And
they came in and they were just recording me because I used to get up at 4 to start working, so that I had to get some work done before Emery got up for school. Mm. So they were recording me making my coffee, working at the table until it was time for her to get up, getting her ready for school. It was just like a day in the life. They came to my burlesque show with me, and it was just this wild experience. And it was fun. Like recording it was fun. They put a camera on the inside of my car on the windshield.
Oh man, they put the transformer.
Yes. Like film us while we were driving.
Yeah.
Like it was a whole thing. Yeah. And that was it. I was like, okay, great, thanks guys. Like I can't wait to see it. The night that it aired, we were doing a Sunday dinner at my house.
Yeah.
So we had a few people over and we watched it after dinner. And then maybe about a month later, the producers emailed me. They're like, hey, just so you know, we're going to enter it into Emmy noms.
Yeah.
I said, what do you mean? You're going to enter into Emmy noms?
Emmy noms.
And they're like, we're just going to see if it could win an Emmy. And I was like, do you really think it could? Like, I had no concept. I was like, what? They're like, maybe. We think it's really good. It's gotten a lot of good feedback. But we don't know. And I was like, oh, all right, whatever. Yeah. Again, not really thinking anything of it.
Yeah.
And then we got an email saying that it was in the finals category. And I was like, what does that mean? They're like, we got to go to Phoenix. We got to go to the ceremony.
Yeah.
I was like the Emmys
yeah.
ceremony?
Yeah.
So you're like, yeah. I was like, okay. So I got a dress, got my hair done, nails done.
Yeah.
Hair done, nails done, everything good.
It's going to be a hip-hop reference riddle interview.
And my girlfriend flew in from San Diego to come with me. And we're sitting at the table. And I'm just running my mouth. And it's the category, but I'm just blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at her. And all of a sudden she goes, oh, my God. And I was like, what? She's like, you won. I said, girl, quit playing. She's like, turn around.
Yeah.
And I looked, and that's when I heard my voice being streamed through the speakers in the venue, and the scene was on the screen, and they said winner, da 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 da, and I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This really just fucking happened.
What does that do to your anatomy, like your spirit, everything in that moment? Is it?
I wanted to pass out.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to pass out. To this day, honest to God, and this is not me being like falsely modest or anything, or like grossly humble, like
Grossly.
Well, like some people are humble, but it's like, you don't mean that. You're just that's gross. Don't
the humble
do that.
brag. Yeah.
Like, it's not that.
Yeah.
Like, it's a great documentary, but I don't know what makes something Emmy winning.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I think the women that produced it, Sandra and Arlene, did a phenomenal job. They're amazing storytellers. And I'm so grateful that they felt that my story with M was worthy of sharing.
Yeah.
But I don't know what made the committee say this one won. This is the one. Maybe, like I always say, like, as an artist, it's my job to make you feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
One way or another. If you're pissed, you're sad, you're happy, it's my job to make you feel. Yeah. And however you walk away from my work feeling means that I did my job. So maybe it was that, maybe it made them feel something so much that...
It's that batch of special that I touched on that you've curated from the inception. They were able to recognize that.
I ain't mad at it.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at it at all. I mean, it's opened doors. It led to this. All from a children's book that nobody wanted.
Yeah.
It's at the end of the day, that's what this all boils back to.
Yeah.
It's someone told me no, and I said, fuck you.
Right.
Do this shit myself then.
Right.
And I think that's what it takes. I think oftentimes the universe is just waiting for us to, like, it's what they say, shit or get off the pot.
Right.
I think the universe was just waiting for me to get off the pot and, like, take that step.
Yeah.
For it to then be like, oh, dope. Now we can start moving.
Yeah, it had to galvanize you. And I wholeheartedly believe that there are moments, checkpoints where the universe does that.
Yeah, and I'm that person that, like, you tell me no, I'm gonna find a yes somewhere. Yeah. I go around you, over you. Yeah. I'm gonna find a yes.
I remember I read that in the Zodiac book one time. The Scorpio, it said woman. The Scorpio woman cannot be told no. So apparently you embody that.
I mean, still some Scorpio up in there. I'm telling you. I don't, that's my least favorite word.
Yeah.
I don't even like maybe. Maybe is the second.
Okay.
I live in absolute.
Oh, that's cold-blooded. Yeah. Yeah, that explains a lot.
Give me a yes or a no. This maybe is wishy-washy.
There's no in between. Yeah, I'm an extremist myself, so I can understand that.
Yeah.
Being a highly acclaimed speaker.
I thought you were going to say highly melanated.
Yes, more melanin. Melanin, I'm sorry. We got the black on black. It's just an abundance.
Everything.
All that. But yes, being a highly acclaimed speaker, touch on your 2017 TEDx talk that you delivered to a sold out house on what to do when life throws you a curveball.
Skating downhill, the art of claiming your life.
Yes.
That was a really interesting experience. That almost didn't happen. So you have to go audition for TED Talks.
Yeah.
And I went and I auditioned. And I thought I did a really good audition. Mm-hmm. The woman that ran TED Talks at the time. So when you're doing it, there's a judges panel.
Right.
There's like 5 judges. She is the coordinator of everything. Did not want me to move into be one of the speakers. But the 5 judges all were like, absolutely, like she has to be one. And she was like, okay, tell me why. And each of the judges had a different thing that they thought I was talking about.
What? How does that happen?
I don't know. And they all thought that I was talking about something different, but they all agreed that whatever they thought I was talking about was something the audience needed to hear.
So the consensus was in feeling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I guess goes back to the documentary. It's a feeling type thing.
Yeah.
And my final product isn't much different than what I auditioned with.
Right.
But she was like, I don't know, guys. And they're like, no, you have to. Like, she has to do this. Yeah. And so when she called me, she said, we're going to have you as an alternate. And I was like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then we had another meeting where all the speakers and all the alternates had to come. And she said, okay, speakers, I need you over here. And she lists off, and she says my name. I was like, I'm an alternate. And she's like, no, we've moved you over. I was like,
the one that was being obstinate about it, like, yeah. It's always one that's like appointed to be a stickler. Like, no matter how you feel.
Yeah, she got overruled, apparently.
Yeah, she got overruled, majority.
And that's how I ended up becoming an official speaker at TEDx.
Yeah.
And the story really was about just claiming your life. I think so many times, like, people just go through life with things happening to them.
Right. And
they just kind of get stuck in this mode of letting life happen to them. Mm-hmm. And I just don't think that's wise. It's not healthy. I think too often people let go of the dreams that they have for themselves. They think that they're unattainable, or that they're dumb, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I'm just a firm believer, like, sure, you could let life happen to you, or you could happen to life.
Damn. Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be a bystander in my own life.
Yeah.
I want, like, put me in the mix.
Right.
I want to be all up in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Popping bottles.
Yeah.
Throwing things.
Yeah.
Like, I want the full experience. I don't want to get to the end of this life and be like, damn, I wish I would have.
Yeah. And that's the main regret. They say, like, when you visit an assisted living facility or a nursing home, that's the main thing. It's like, I didn't do enough, or I didn't do what I wanted to do.
Right.
You know? And
I'm just like, if I can die knowing that I worked my ass off to get as much of my shit done that I'm supposed to get done while I'm here, I'm good. If I can die knowing that I didn't leave anything at least untried that I wanted to try, good.
Yeah.
If I can get to, like, big homie in the sky and he can be like, girl, you did that. Be like, yo, I know.
Right.
Good.
Dapping up. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Can I get through now? Like, I need to know that I left this place better than how I found it.
Yeah.
And when I came in 1977, this place was fucked up. So, 70s in New York City, like, it wasn't cute. It was not cute. So I need to know that I left here doing the absolute most, which is probably why I'm so damn extra all the time.
I was about to say, absolute most is like the epitome of Adiba. Absolute most.
I do the most.
Yeah. But it's not an obnoxious absolute most. It's inspirational absolute most. Because like you say, you're drawn from, I got to really leave it all out on the table.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I don't know, like, how you play dominoes, but I think, like,
you know how to play dominoes?
No, I don't know how to play dominoes. Oh. Cut that part.
No, leave.
But in my mind, like, when I check out, I want to be like, bam!
Yeah.
I know that happens in dominoes.
Yeah, when you call dominoes, you slamming on the table.
Yeah, like, that's how I want to go out.
Yeah.
Did that shit.
Yeah.
Bye.
Break the table and shit.
Yes. Yeah. And then deuces.
Yeah. I like that imagery too.
I'll take it.
I can see you literally doing that. Slamming the fucking table. No.
But no, like that, and that's, so there's an analogy that I do at the end of Well, I think I do it at the end of the TED Talk, or maybe I wanted to and they made me cut it. I don't remember. But it's an analogy about trees. And when trees fall down, like when you're walking, right? Like let's say you're walking on the path through the woods and you come across a fallen tree.
Right.
If a tree falls, it's already dead. It doesn't just randomly fall. It's dead. Like the roots are dead. It can't support it. It's dead. So you have an opportunity, right? You can go over it and keep going on your path. You can go around it and keep going on your path. You can cut through it. Or you can say, oh, damn, the tree fell down on my path. I can't go any further. I'm going to turn back.
Yeah.
That's literally how you should be approaching any path you're going down in life, right?
Yeah.
Any big decision you're going to make. Because there's always going to be people trying to talk you out of it, tell you it's not going to be successful. That's the tree. That person is the tree in your path.
Right.
You can take what they say as gospel and say, you know what, I'm not going to try anymore. Or you can just be like, you know what, shut your face. I don't believe you, and go around them and keep going and doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
And I wholeheartedly believe that.
Yeah.
You have to like just go around the tree, step over it, go around it, cut through it.
Yeah.
But keep going.
Yeah. Make it an obstacle course. Like have fun with it. That's how I see it.
Well, you can do that.
Yeah, jump over it, slide through.
I like the easy way. I'll just step over and keep going.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but there's gonna be obstacles for sure. And you just gotta figure out how to get through it. And I think a lot of it is intuition, trusting your gut.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is trusting your gut.
Yeah, because a lot of people shut that out. You know.
They don't listen to the little voice in their head.
Yeah, they don't know how to differentiate between the little voice in their head and the naysayers, like the peanut gallery, all of that. But you have to block out both and have crowd control. You know.
I always say the little voice in your head is the voice that says things you've never heard before. They can be good or bad, but you get to decide.
You get to decide. Yeah, you steward that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. How does it feel? I've watched some of your speaking to be on that stage because you look very comfortable, very confident. Stage. Yeah. So take us to like some of your performing like Sunday dinners and burlesque. Like,
I'm not taking my clothes off on your show. That's not happening. This is not that. Sorry, folks. You ain't gonna see the girls today. It's not happening. It's not that kind of party. You did not tell me anything about this. I didn't have a good bra on. Like, I have no razzle dazzle. Do you have dollars? I mean, what are we doing here? I don't take my clothes off for free.
Please, yes. But take us to that.
I love being on stage.
Yeah.
It's just this different side. I grew up dancing. My mom was a dancer. It's, to me, the best form of storytelling there is. Because you're using your body to tell a story. And you're having fun. Well, for me, it's having fun with it, right?
Yeah.
I've told stories around infidelity. I've told stories around women and sexual exploration. I've told stories around police brutality. I've told stories around being committed to being your authentic self, around gender identity. That it's just I love it.
So you like to tap dance around the landfill, the landmines?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I just think that for so long, women have been told who we are supposed to be, how we are supposed to move,
right? How
we're supposed to speak, think, behave. Specifically, women of color, more specifically, Black women. There's a very tiny box that they want to put us in.
Yeah.
And I'm not here with the shits. Like, I'm not here for that.
Yeah.
I'm over it. I'm so over being told, sit this way, speak this way, be good, close your legs, do this, do that, don't wear this. If you do this, this means that. Like, who made these arbitrary rules? Like, this is such bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
Who said you're not supposed to like this thing in your bedroom if you're a woman? Like,
right.
It's dumb. Right. It's dumb. And so I also think as a bigger woman, like, I'm not some skinny mini, never have been, never will be, and I am okay with that. 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 But there's even a smaller box for big girls that says, if you're a big girl, don't wear this.
Right. You're
not cute. You're not sexy. You shouldn't feel this way about yourself. Like, you're not allowed to feel good about yourself if you're a big girl. Bitch, please. No.
Yeah.
And it was also like, so it's kind of like a nod to that, like, just kind of fuck the system.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's always kind of fun when there are dudes who are like, and it's always like the dudes in the audience, because the girls in the audience, like, they love to see a confident woman on that stage. Like, it just gives them more confidence. I've had numerous women come up to me after a show and be like, oh my God, I've never seen someone that looks like me on stage, but you were so sexy and so confident, and it made me feel like, you know, maybe I'm that too. And that's like, I love that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I also love when there's that one random guy who's like, you know, never really been attracted to big girls. I'm like, but I'm sexy as fuck, and you know it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, no, it's okay. Like, you can just say it.
Yeah.
You can just say it.
Yeah.
We know that.
You have to totally acquiesce to your power.
Like, well, I mean, I didn't put it like that.
Yeah,
I didn't say all that. But it's one of those things where it's like, it's another way of making people feel in a way that they didn't think that they could feel. Yeah. It makes you question all that you think you know about yourself.
Yeah. Like,
one of my girlfriends, Jacqueline Box, she's a disabled performer, and she is stunning. And she is an incredible performer, and she performs in her wheelchair. And you can't tell me that that woman is not sexy as fuck when she is performing. Like, I'm just like,
You posted videos.
Yeah. She's fantastic. Yeah. I always tell my girl, you could get it. You could get it. But again, like, men will be like, you know, I never thought like disability could be sexy. And it's like, why? Why would you not think that? It's a human being.
Right. Right.
My daughter is disabled. I don't want her growing up thinking that there is ever anything wrong with her body.
Right.
I want her to see me as her first teacher, her first example of what confidence is, of what loving yourself looks like, of what being comfortable in your skin looks like, and know that she is entitled to all of that.
Yeah.
And that's also part of my burlesque. I did it because I'm her mom, and she's going to look to me first to determine how she feels about herself.
Yeah.
And sure, there's a million other ways I could have decided I'm going to teach my child about confidence, but I decided to take my clothes off.
Right.
Because a girl that looks like me in all the ways, an older woman, a black woman, a fat black woman, a woman with a gap in her teeth with natural hair, I am not supposed to be on a stage taking my clothes off and daring you to throw me some money.
Yeah.
But I did it, and you did it, and we were all better for it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's the pushback of the antiquated ways that are in the death rows, you know, with the patriarchy. And
I wish we'd just fucking die already.
Yeah, death throws, you know.
It's fighting hard. It's fighting hard.
Yeah, but there is a fight.
Yeah, but I'm ready for like the alligator to just drown.
We're all ready. You know, it's like, to touch on, like James Baldwin said, like, my great grandparents, you told them, wait. You told my grandparents, wait. You told my parents, wait. I'm tired of waiting. Yeah. You know, so that's where we're at. You know.
I think you're absolutely right on that. 100%. Yeah.
But as a vanguard, as a true trailblazer, as I say again, like, I think you're definitely up to the task with that. And a lot of people can follow.
You say I'm a trailblazer?
Yes.
Me?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. I'll take it.
Please do. Take us to the impactful and unadulterated vulnerability of Ain't That a Mother? Where you share about postpartum, palsy, and everything in between.
Yeah, I shared a lot.
Yes.
Sometimes people tell me what I shared. I'm like, shit, I said that?
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. Okay. But again, it goes back to women having the freedom to just speak their truth. we don't talk about the things that deeply affect us. As women, as mothers, there's all these rules around what you're allowed to say and do as a mother. Mm-hmm. And those rules keep us so locked within ourselves. Mm-hmm. And it's not healthy. It's not healthy for us. It's not healthy for our families. It's not allowing us to be whole human beings. Mm-hmm. And I knew that there was no possible way that I was the only person who had ever experienced postpartum depression, which I now know was actually borderline postpartum psychosis. Mm. Especially Black women. We don't talk about it.
Yeah, we're supposed to have thicker skin.
Right.
And, stronger. And,
right.
Yeah.
But what I experienced was so real.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't tell me that if I stepped outside, there were not going to be dogs waiting to tear my child to pieces. Yeah. I knew it.
Yeah.
I absolutely knew it. When I finally did go outside, I took my neighbor with me. Yeah. And I was like, just in case, I'm pushing you first.
Yeah.
Like, but we don't talk about it. And we don't talk about how sometimes it's a struggle to connect with your child when they're first born. Because the rules are, when the child is born, you immediately love them. And, it's my icebreaker. You immediately, sorry. But the rules are, like, they come out and, like, everything perpetuates this. Commercials perpetuate this, movies, TV shows. They take the baby out, they put it on your chest, and I love you so much. Look at how beautiful you are.
Yeah.
So many women don't have that experience.
Yeah, yeah.
Countless women have reached out to me saying, oh my God, I've never seen what I felt written on the page to the T. But my kid came out and I was like, why is she white? I didn't know Black babies could be born white.
Yeah, yeah.
Black babies can be born white. But I remember willing myself to cry, because the movies tell you that you're supposed to cry when you hear your baby cry for the first time.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel that. I was just like, oh, shit. Okay, we're here. This is the thing we're doing. Yeah. And it's just like, okay, I'm supposed to be crying. I'm supposed to be crying. I'm supposed to be crying. Come on. Just fucking cry already. Yeah. Yeah. And forcing the tears to come. But not at all feeling connected to this human that they pulled out of me. Not at all. And I just felt like I had to say it. I had to make it okay, because it's human. Yeah. It doesn't make me a bad parent. It doesn't make me a bad mother, a bad woman. It makes me a fucking human being. Right. Who is experiencing something completely brand new and doesn't know what the hell to do about it, and knows that she's supposed to feel a certain way, but she doesn't. Yeah. So now what? Right. I don't know how many women are on this planet, but I know I was the only one that had that experience. Yeah, yeah. There was just no way that it was just me. And I know countless women that have had miscarriages, but we don't talk about it. We don't talk about what it feels like to have your doctor tell you, go wait it out. That, I think, is one of the cruelest things that someone can tell a mother who is losing her child. Go home and wait it out, and then call me in the morning. It's like, wait, what out? Yeah. Death? You want me to sit and wait out death inside of me? Yeah. With offering no mental health support in going through that, no counseling. You don't tell other people, because what are you going to say? I'm going home to let my baby die inside of me. Mm-hmm. Like, what are they supposed to do with that information? Right. It's so impersonal. it's so impersonal and cruel to me. I think it's just cruel. Mm-hmm. And I knew I couldn't have been the only woman that experienced this, that felt also fucking cruel.
Yeah.
To tell me to go home and wait this out and hope that it all hope I pass my entire baby, and if not, we'll have to go in and clean you out tomorrow. Mm. What? Yeah. And it's just callous, like it's just another procedure.
Yeah.
With no acknowledgement of the emotional tie you've already created to this baby. You've already heard the heartbeat. Mm. And this is not going to turn into a Roe v. Wade conversation. I'm not going down that road. But for a lot of women, there is, once we get to that point, like we've formed some sort of connection, right? Mm-hmm. To then have to sit through the weathering of, well, I hope all of you dies. Like, it's horrible. Mm-hmm. And I just knew I wasn't alone. And I had to just get it out. And I think it was also part of my grieving process that I didn't ever grieve. Mm. I never grieved it at the moment. I grieved it as I was writing it.
Right.
And that was tough.
Yeah.
That was really tough because I didn't expect it.
Yeah. And that's why it connected, why other people are able to identify with it in such a way, because you were grieving it while you were writing it.
Yeah. And I think it came out in the writing.
Yeah. There was no disconnect from that. There was no impersonal action.
No, I think between that and the really intense postpartum scene with my daughter, where I was about to shake her, reliving that moment was just as terrifying as it was living it the first time. Going back through that, I remember seeing her face, those feelings. But again, I knew I wasn't the only woman. I mean, we've heard about women who drive their babies into lakes.
Right.
I mean, so I knew I wasn't the only one, and I knew I knew I couldn't be the only Black woman, but I'd never heard another Black woman talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd never heard another Latin woman talk about it. When we see stories of postpartum depression, it's always white women. Mm. It's always white women. Mm. And it's like, oh, I was sad and then I wasn't. Mm. We don't talk about what does that postpartum depression really look like?
Right.
What does that feel like? Yeah. What do you do in it? No one talks about the realness of it. And it was one of those things, like there's that movie Tombstone.
Yeah, I was watching that this weekend.
Were you?
My pops, yeah.
So you know the scene with, I think it's Val Kilmer. I forget. Does he play Wyatt Earp or Doc Holliday? He's Doc Holliday, right? Yeah. And it's the big shootout scene.
Like they're like the river.
That's dirt and there's guns.
You're talking about like, okay, yeah, it's like the standoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Val Kilmer says, I'll be your huckleberry.
Yeah, that's his line. I'll be your huckleberry.
Yeah. And that's kind of how I felt talking about these things that women are not ever supposed to talk about. It's like, fuck it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll die on the sword.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
At least I talked about it. At least I hopefully gave someone else the courage and the agency to say, you know, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and to delve into that realness of that type of subject matter, you do it in a way with humor. You know,
I'm a funny bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, you do it in a way where it's like, wow, like she's handling such a serious subject and it has you laughing, like crying, like stop provoking. So it goes back to that feel, like you directly feel the experience.
Well, I think humor is a lot of my therapy too. Yeah. It's a coping mechanism for sure. It's definitely a coping mechanism. But I also think so much of life is so absurd that you have no choice but to laugh.
Yeah,
like,
you have to.
Some of the shit that happens, you're like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, this is some bullshit.
Yeah, it's really the medicine.
It
to
is.
cope with everything that really happens.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Your dream of becoming a writer, Where did that begin?
This is going to sound weird. It was never my dream. Until... It was never my dream until I realized I was actually living a dream. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like... So when I was a little kid, you ask kids, like, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Right.
I was like, I'm going to be a fireman. But I don't really like fire, so no.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to be an astronaut, but I don't like to fly, so no. And then at one point, I was like, I'm going to be a child psychologist, which is like a really weird thing for a third grader to say.
It's also telling.
But I thought I was going to be a child psychologist. And then as I moved through school, I realized I really wanted to be an educator. So I wanted to be a kindergarten teacher, and then eventually I wanted to open my own school. But also around that time, I was starting to really get into writing poetry. But I was a teenager, so it was all like teen angst. Everybody must die. I hate the world. Fuck you, mom. Kind of poetry. But
cynical stuff.
Really like dark, like goth before goth was goth.
Right.
And I still have all my composition books upstairs. But it was just tons and tons of super dark poetry. But I loved it. And that was my thing for a while. And then in my 20s, I got into spoken word. And when my grandmother passed, that's when I really got into it. And I read my first spoken word piece at an open mic. And I was hooked.
Yeah.
I'd never done it before in life.
Yeah.
The poem was called 212 Degrees, which is it's the boiling temperature.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was about. I think it was about me. Like being really hot, because I was trying to convince myself I was hot. But I started writing more and more poetry in spoken word style and doing poetry slams and stuff like that. Competed, did pretty okay, was a finalist for the Phoenix Slam team. And then I went back to school and stopped. But when I went back to school, I took a creative writing class and I loved it. And that's when I really was like, oh, I'm kind of an okay writer here. And the teacher always loved my writing. And she'd be like, oh, you should look into like writing for XYZ magazine. I'm like, how? She's like, I don't know, but I think I could really see your work there. And so I kind of started getting I've always been obsessed with magazines and trying to figure out like how, like I wanted to write for like Sassy magazine and I wanted to write for YM and 17. Because I always had these little parts in the back where you could send in like your most embarrassing stories. I always wanted to do that, but I couldn't figure out how. And then in my 20s, I started like voraciously reading magazines, but like all different kinds. So I was reading GQ, I was reading Esquire, Maxim, Essence, Rolling Stone, and Vibe. And I'd get all of these magazines to my house.
I was reading those for different reasons. Yeah.
Probably. But I wanted to see like what people were talking about, what were the different writing styles. And I settled on the fact that I really wanted to write for Vibe because I love music. And I was like, how dope would it be to like be a music writer? And then I could meet like all my favorite musicians. Couldn't figure out how to do it. So I kind of put it on the back burner and got my social work degree.
But you was following the footsteps of like Sanaa Lathan and Brown Sugar.
Essentially. Essentially. When I saw that movie, I was like, oh my God. Who was spying on me? What is this? And then when my daughter was born, I started blogging to get through my postpartum. And again, humor is just how I get through things. So I'm writing about really hating all these fucking kids in my house, but it's really funny. And I didn't know it, but one of my favorite authors was following my blog. And she had left a comment one time saying about how good it was and how funny it was. And she was so glad she'd found it. And I was like, is this the same? She's like, yeah, it's me. And I was like, holy fucking shit. You read my blog? And she's like, yeah, I've been following you for months.
It's up now.
I was like, oh my God. And she ended up giving me her phone number, and we became friends. And I was like, I want to model my career after her. And in odd ways, it has. She's far more accomplished than I am. I mean, this woman's a beast.
Yeah.
She's got, I think, 32 New York Times bestsellers. But in little ways, there have been things where, like, I'm definitely, like, following in her footsteps.
Yeah.
She wrote a blurb for this book.
Yeah.
And to see that, like, that was amazing.
That's huge. That's huge.
Huge.
Gratitude for her for
Yeah.
doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I never dreamed. I dreamed of being a Vibe magazine writer. Like, I really wanted to do that. But I never dreamed of this. Yeah. I didn't know that this was a thing I could do, even though, like, I love reading. You see my library.
Right.
When I was a kid and I would get grounded, my mom would make me read books. And I would read like 10 books in a week. Damn. I was obsessed with books.
So you got grounded a lot.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. I
spent all of junior high grounded.
Acting up in Queens. Yeah.
Acting up everywhere.
On the block. Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
But I was just inhaling books, but it never dawned on me that you could make a living writing books, even though I'm reading every Judy Blume book that there is. I'm reading every Sweet Valley High book. Yeah. It never occurs to me that, oh, there's one person making a living writing all these books. Yeah. It never dawned on me. And I didn't realize that this was my dream until it became my reality. Yeah. And now it just makes sense. Like, what else would I do with my life? Yeah. Of course, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah. Also, my name means writer, so fuck me if I don't live up to this shit. Yeah. So, like,
preordained.
Doing it made me realize that, oh, this is the dream that I didn't know that I had. And I'm in it. Yeah. Like, every day I'm in it. Yeah. And that's kind of surreal. Yeah. That's definitely kind of surreal.
Yeah. To expound on that, I want to close with...
We're not closing. Ride this shit till the wheels fall off.
I want to close with the gravitas of a writer, the internal me versus me, you versus you. Mm-hmm. And you posted something on social media a few weeks ago.
What did I post, Marquez?
And I'm going to read it verbatim to kind of emphasize
we don't got to do all that.
The importance of it, because it spoke volumes to me, and you can really apply it to any arena.
Okay. You know, what'd I say?
So, quote, just so y'all know, this year will make 10 years of me officially being an author. And the rise and continued rise has been nothing short of awe-inducing. But every week, at least once, I give serious thought to quitting. I give serious thought to if my voice in this world is making a difference, what I intended it to make when I started this journey. I give serious thought as to whether I am shortcoming my kid by working so hard, so furiously hard, for her future, our future, that my now is staggered and limited and still choking on debt. Every week, y'all. Every damn week. But I remember that for some reason, I was chosen for this. So if I was chosen for this, I was built for this. And I'm closer than ever I've ever been to the career, life, purpose, manifestations that lie in the secret whispers of my heart. In the space that only I and the universe know, I'm almost there. And so I continue.
I said that shit.
That was heavy duty, tough work.
It was.
Yeah, because anything you really throw yourself to, like, you're going to feel that.
Every damn week.
Yeah.
Today, I was like, can't get up right now.
Yeah.
It's not easy. Yeah. It is not for the faint of heart. It is a damn miracle that I'm still doing this after getting a divorce, walking away from a 6-figure earner, not getting alimony anymore, just doing this on my own. Yeah. Living off of book advances and freelance money.
Yeah.
It's a damn miracle. every day. I'm just like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
I can do this. I have to do this.
And I see you doing it. Like, I watch closely. I observe. I ask questions.
You be creeping?
Yeah. I watch, and you know that my admiration for you is infinite.
Yeah, I know.
I'm a huge fan. I'm always here to support and help. And I always set intentions for our guests on the show as to what I would like to see. And for you, like we discussed, like you're big city talent, like you're gifted. I want to see this book on the table talking to Oprah Winfrey, like, because
I think I cursed too much in it for Oprah.
Nah, you can go PG on it, but I really see that for you, and you're more than capable of that.
Well, so thank you.
That's what I want.
Thank you.
I got mad love for you, the city, got mad love for you, the nation, everybody who reads your work, because you are that person that really brings the feeling off of the paper.
Thank you.
And we need that so. Because the world is devoid of that, and it's the medicine along with the laughter that you also induce. So,
well, I think, thank you, first of all, for saying that. I think the book, at the end of the day, I just hope that what people take from it is that vulnerability will absolutely save your life. It will.
Yeah.
If you let it.
Yeah.
And I think in a way it was kind of me trying to save my own life at times.
Yeah. Yeah. So. And you're doing it well, and you're saving other lives.
Thank you.
Where can people find you on your publications as a journalist, your website, your social media, etc.?
So my OnlyFans is not kidding. I'm so kidding. I don't have an OnlyFans. I don't.
Yeah.
Don't go looking. It's not there.
And supplement the income. We got to do. The economy is dire.
So the website is thefullnelson.net. I'm currently sold out of the children's book. But if anybody would like to fund it.
Yes.
Publications, I think, if it sounds real pretentious, but I don't mean it that way.
Yeah.
You could Google. Just Google my name.
Yeah. Google me. Yeah.
But I mean, there's just like I've written with Huffington Post and Washington Post and Parents Magazine, My Brown Baby, Everyday Feminism, The Lily.
Yes.
One day I have quotes in other people's articles for the New York Times, but I don't have my own byline with the New York Times yet. Which one day, hopefully, I hope.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like if you just were to Google my name, all of the pieces would come up. You can find me also on the Arizona Public Media website because of the work that I do with them. That's our local NPR. And I think that's radio.azpm.org/Adiba, I think is that website. But again, you can link to all of that just from my main website of thefullnelson.net.
And the Instagram handle?
Yeah. So the Instagram is just at Adiba Nelson. The Twitter at Adiba Nelson. I'm real exciting, right?
Yeah.
Facebook at Adiba Nelson Writer.
Yeah.
I have a Snapchat, but I don't know how to use it.
All right.
Really, people? I also have a TikTok, but I don't know. I don't know what my handle is, and I think there's like 3 videos. There's
a lot going on.
I don't know how to TikTok. Are there other socials that I should know about?
Whatever you got, you can give.
I think that's it.
People will find you. You're Googleable, so that's all that's important.
No OnlyFans, no Pornhub, nothing like that. None of that.
Hi.
No YouTubes.
Yes. But like I said, I'll reiterate my gratitude for you in my life.
Oh, thank you. It's been, honestly, and I told you this last night, it's been my honor and my pleasure to watch you just soar and to take everything that I told you in the hour and a half lunch that we had. Yeah. Was it even a full hour and a half? Like maybe an hour.
It's like an hour. And
you've just taken it and surpassed me. It's amazing. It's amazing to just watch you just grow and grow and grow and just keep pushing and taking risks on yourself that I would never take on myself.
Yeah.
But you did, and it paid off.
Yeah.
And it's a real honor to see it. Thank you for letting me witness it and just like kind of be your annoying cheerleader from the sidelines.
Yeah, it means a lot. That's paramount. Like I said, I look up to you. So
I'm Glenda.
I humbly submit. Much love to you. Snap.
Oh, snap. That was such a dork.
I had to get the ring on it. That's how I feel the power. Wow.
It's
Captain
a cat
America
too.
joint.
No,
Yeah.
Wonder Twins activate.
Is that a tiger?
Yeah, it's a leopard.
Shit bit me.
It's a cougar.
All right. Cool.
It's Wonder Twins activate.
Okay.
Wonder Twins activate. What do we activate in the form of?
Oh, okay. I was on the Ninja Turtles. I wasn't watching that. But
Forget you.
Martin and all.
Interview over.
Yeah. Cut.